I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Chris Avalon. Long time no see, right? It's been a couple of days since we did a show. But yes, we got a lot of tea to spill. Glad you are all stepping in the building right now. For those of you who are watching the live stream, as you are probably aware or not, Chris Avalon Unfiltered is a show where we basically talk about all the latest celebrity news, hot topics, whatever you think of, we talk about it. And we got a lot of tea to spill. So, for those of you who have been following me on social media, you already know that I was out in Philly supporting my girl, Sapphira Cristal, making her debut on RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm going to give you a little insight on how that whole situation went down. Plus, yesterday I went to the IFC Theater to go see a movie called You Can't Stay Here, which was directed by a friend of mine by the name of Todd Varro and starring Guillermo Diaz. We're going to talk about that as well. Plus, we're going to talk about, we're going to recap RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm going to give you all my top, who was in the top, who was in the bottom, that sort of thing, in regards to the rate of Queen situation, what I thought of the overall episode, and, all that good stuff. Plus, we're going to talk about Keke Palmer making history with her Emmy win. We got to talk about that Jonathan Majors interview. Child, I got a lot to say about that. Plus, we have, we're going to talk about Murder on the Dance Floor, how this song has had a resurgence thanks to a little film called Saltburn. Nigel Lythgoe, I've been saying it for the longest. What's going to be the outcome of what's going on with him? Because, he's supposed to be making his, So You Think You Can Dance supposed to be coming back in March, I believe. And I want to know what's going on with that. I got the latest on that as well. Plus, Vin Diesel's, girlfriend, baby mama, whatever you want to call it. He never married her. They've been together damn near 20 years. He ain't put a ring on it. Apparently, she's mad over the situation that's been going on with all these SA accusations that came out against him recently. Plus, we're going to talk about Taraji P. Henson putting The Color Purple on blast and Oprah out here trying to save face on her reputation. Plus, this wasn't on the docket, but this literally happened about maybe an hour or two ago. Lil Nas X has unleashed the cover art for his latest single, and it's causing a commotion. Y'all get the Madonna reference. That's, hooray for y'all. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to show you the cover, and I'm going to give my thoughts on that situation. And I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, so we got a lot to get to, but before we get to the topics, y'all do me a solid and hit that subscribe button, notification, all that good stuff. Follow all my social media platforms down below, so that way you'll know when I go live and do a show. So hold on. So without further ado, let me hit my little banner and let's get into the hot topics. I don't want to keep y'all waiting because we got a lot of tea to spill, and I don't want to just be running off with the mouth with some BS. All right, so let's give a huge congratulations to my girl RuPaul, whose long-running competition series RuPaul's Drag Race continues to collect countless awards. Now, according to Variety, this marks the 8th consecutive win for Ru, who holds the record for most wins by a person of color. Now, during his speech, the producer and host said, "I'm so proud to be part of this medium. You invited me to be a part of this. You are my family." He also went on to thank his family and World of Wonder producers Randy Barbato and Fenton Bailey, who he's been with for like 100 years. He shared a story about being at the bottom and sleeping on his friend Larry T's couch. He said, "He told me, these are terrible times. Remember who you are. Don't give up." Speaking to the audience, RuPaul said, "I want to tell all the kids out there in the business, remember who you are. Do not give up. Stick with it, kiddo, and remember who you are." Now, with this win, Ru adds to his collection of awards. He has won a Tony Award last year for producing the Broadway show A Strange Loop and is shy of an Oscar and a Grammy Award to achieve EGOT status. Now, I should also point out he beat out the host Queer Eye, Nailed It, which is hosted by Nicole Byer, Top Chef, which is hosted by Padma Lakshmi, and Baking It, which is, a show from Amy Poehler and Maya Rudolph, which I'm not even surprised by because here's the thing. Like, y'all already know how I feel about Queer Eye. I could never really get into this the new girls that's on the show. We already heard the tea that came out allegedly that Bobby Burke and Tan France don't follow each other on social media, and Bobby Burke is leaving after the upcoming 8th season. And like I said, they don't give me what need to be given from like the old cast. Like, I still live for Cayenne, I still live for Carson, even though Carson is now on RuPaul's Drag Race as a judge. I love me some Jay Rodriguez, who's out here flowing his new boo. And, he's out here acting and doing all his stuff. So I remember all the other cast. This new cast is like, okay, y'all just stuck a bunch of 5 queens in a show together, and I'm supposed to be feeling for y'all. No, I mean, if y'all like it, I love it, but they just don't resonate with me, and it just didn't give me that same impact as what the Bravo show used to do. Now, Tan French, Child, I mean, not Tan Friends, Top Chef. That's what I meant to say. Top Chef been on for like 1,000 years. Padma, girl, you might as well just not ever expect to get an award because as long as RuPaul's Drag Race exists, they're gonna keep giving it to him. But I heard last year the streak was broken on Ru's part because Lizzo won for that show. Watch out for the big girls. I don't know if that's coming back. With all the controversy surrounding Lizzo and everything that was going on with that. So I don't even know if what's going to happen with that show. But after the controversy surrounding Lizzo, I don't see that show coming back. But so yeah, they said that, and then they said the episode submitted for Emmys consideration was the Wig Loose Rusical, which is a parody of Footloose, which was set in a small town of West Bumtuck, where drag has been outlawed. And it's funny how they said that they submitted that idea a year prior to all the stuff that was happening in the media in regards of like politics of trying to ban drag queens from reading to kids and all this other stuff. So um Wiggles was, in my opinion, one of the best musicals that I've seen in a long time. And I'm actually curious to see what they're going to bring in season 16 in regards to the whole musical thing. I did not ask Sapphira what the musical or any stuff about the show was going to be, but because there was a lot going on at the Brooklyn Bowl, so I didn't get a chance to do all of that. So congratulations, Ru, and we'll come back to the whole RuPaul's Drag Race. I just realized something after all this stuff with RuPaul's Drag Race. I didn't even write um a heading for the RuPaul's Drag Race situation. But anyway, let's get to this tea. So let's talk about my trip to Philly. So y'all already knew the last show that I did that I was going to be doing a trip to Philly. A friend of mine hit me up and was like, "Bitch, you want to go to Philly?" I was like, yeah. I'm always down for a trip. So got the ticket, took the bus down there because I don't drive. We don't really have need to drive in New York. So took the bus down there. It was cute. Left New York around what time did we leave? I think it was 1:15. So we took the 1:15 bus, took that down to Philly, got there about 3 o'clock. We was a little early. The check-in time for the Airbnb was 4, so we had to kill time, went to this little market. So I can get like something to eat or whatever the case was, do a little shopping. Got me some alligator gumbo. Child, that shit was good. But I realized you can't eat that. If you got leftovers, I don't condone eating that the next day because I was like, I'm not going to get the whole bubble guts. So I ate majority of it. And then I had like this bread pudding that they doused in alcohol. I forget what it was. I think it was like rum or something. Oh my God, it was so good. I'm not a fan of rum. I mean, not rum. I love rum. I'm not a fan of bread pudding. But when you put a little extra salt and something on it, I'm down to eating and trying different things. And people always ask me, how are you like when it comes to food? Am I an adventurous eater? I'm like, I've always been an adventurous eater. I think I get that from my father because he and I are very much adventurous eaters. Like anything that's different or whatever, we'll try it once. And if we like it or not sure, we'll try it a second time to confirm that we don't what we had the first time. We were like, maybe it was a bad experience or maybe somebody didn't cook it right. But um the alligator was good, and I have to say, one of the things I've noticed about Philly is there's a lot of it's really queer centric. Like there's a lot of it's very open and very queer friendly. Met a lot of trans men, honey. There's a lot of good looking trans men out there too. So the people are fun, open minded, very much down home, and like they ride or die for people. Because when meeting up with Sapphira later on, I realized it was like these people really go hard for their community and stuff. And I think it's probably because when you're so used to watching Drag Race and you see like New York and LA, the typical Chicago, the typical cities that are mostly represented and always get plucked when it comes to the art of drag and that sort of thing. I think we take our queens for granted, but when you go to places that, Philly is like a city part of Pennsylvania. But when you go to these different places, it's like I feel like they're more open and they ride harder. They don't take their people for granted, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So by the time we got to the Airbnb, I'm sure y'all saw on my Instagram, I took like a little video and all other stuff. Um, I have to say that once we got settled or whatever, we got a phone call. It was like, oh, they're trying to do the meet and greet early. Usually it was supposed to be around 6 something. So then they moved it earlier. So we were sitting there rush. I had to take a quick shower, eat, whatever. Then we had to get down there and take an Uber to the place, which was the Brooklyn Bowl in Philly. It's a cute spot too. It's like a bowling alley, and then also they have like a stage where they do shows. It's like a mixture, like a whole collection mixture. So, and I like stuff like that, where it's like, okay, you can have a concert, like a little mini show here, and host events in this part. And then there's like a bowling alley, and then they had TV screens above, like when you bowl and they hit the pins and stuff. Right above that, they had like these big TV screens. So those people couldn't watch the big screen for Drag Race. You could watch the other thing. I was in the VIP section. So I got to sit down on the side and watch the whole thing. And then you saw like some of the videos that I posted of the performances, which it was hard to get a lot of those performances out because the irritating part of it was that with copyrights and Warner Brothers and Sony and all that mess, like if you play a Beyonce, a Queen lip sync into a damn Break My Soul or whatever, which Sapphira did do, like she did on the episode of Drag Race when she won the lip sync. She performed the same song at the Brooklyn Bowl, and what irritates me is the fact that it's like when you want to post stuff and show people like the shows or whatever the case is, stupid, Instagram and Meta with their goddamn algorithms and so like, oh, it's owned by so and so. Do the copyright stuff. We have to take it down. It's like whatever. But y'all are real picky when it comes to that because let a mainstream celebrity with a blue check post that shit. Y'all don't flag it. So to me, it's always about like popularity and numbers and all that other crap. So now when we got there, funny part with that whole thing is when we got there, nobody was ready. Everybody was setting up because it was a last minute change. And then when we went backstage to go say hey to Sapphira, she was in the process of beating her mug and that whole thing. So we didn't even have time to like she wasn't even ready. And I know she was probably stressed out because it's like, well, damn, like this was the thing that was set up. I'm sure that we were all trying to figure out how to have all this stuff happen. And now y'all trying to change up stuff. So then we went, met up with her team of people. And then, speaking of which, I am wearing her merch. This is a Sapphira Cristal t-shirt, which is like it looks very Wakanda forever with some, but with some diamonds and stuff. And it's actually got her initials in here. So it says SC right here. I was like trying to see where I could because I'm on camera. But yeah, this is actually one of her merch. It's like $35. It's a cute shirt and it fits well. So yeah, now back to the situation. So then when we went and met up with everybody, come to find out later on, they decided, oh, we're gonna switch it back to the other time because we had to do a meet and greet. So with the meet and greet, they were trying to fix the lighting, all this other stuff. Luckily, one of the people that was there that was part of Sapphira's team had like these little light bars, which is really cool. I was like, oh, I need to get one of those. So what we did was we thought it was a smart idea. It was like, okay, you know what? Instead of having a photographer, which is my friend David Lab, he's a professional photographer. Instead of like having to do professional photos, what we'll do is we'll just grab everybody's phone. You can use your phones to take your pictures, but we're going to supply the lighting. So I'm holding up the light on one side like this, the ring with the light bar. They was holding the other side and doing the phone, like taking the pictures. So it was a whole situation, but the pictures came out fierce because I was looking and trying to make sure the light was lighting. So that's what that was. That whole meet and greet thing worked. Then she had to go backstage, decompress. I went and slid in the back with the VIP section, started notching, even though I had the what was it? The gumbo, the alligator gumbo. Even though I had that, when I got there, I was like, oh, they had like those little hamburgers, like teeny tiny, what do they call those? Little small little burgers, whatever, with the little stick in it. So I'm sitting there eating that. And then they had one of the things I did discover, they had this really good chocolate brownies, but it had like the frosting and stuff on it. And then they had churros too. So I took, because I'm a foodie. So I'm like, I'm taking dessert, put them both together. So it was like almost like would it be like a s'mores? I don't think so because it would require it being marshmallows. So I took like the chocolate brownie and then I put it with the churro and it was in the churro sugar and all that stuff on it. And I ate it. Oh my God. It was just like sex in the mouth, child. So that was a good combination because I was like, this girl was doing it there. And then so I was like, oh, let me try that. So I went and I had one and whatever. So long story short, the show starts, Sapphira comes out, introduces, we watch the show, the fans seem to be having a great time. I have to say the roar of the crowd and the way people reacted to Sapphira was like something I had never really witnessed. And I think also this was like a zeitgeist moment because I've never been to a viewing party with someone who made who won the mini challenge and the maxi challenge. And that was basically like, and then the audience reacting to that. So that was a rarity to see that situation go down. So overall, it was a great time. And then after that, after that, there was a show that happened after the viewing party. Had a bunch of Philly queens up there performing. Honey Davenport DJ, she also performed. And the cool thing about it was that, wait, hold on, because I was like trying to pull up my, because we are going. Oh yeah, so we wound up going to this other spot too. That was a lot of fun. Frankie Bradley's. I wanted to call it Frankie Beverly. So damn. So we want to go into this spot in Philly called Frankie Bradley's, which was where the after show was. And funny thing was, Sapphira performed, I think, 3 times because she opened the show at the Brooklyn Bowl, closed the show at the Brooklyn Bowl, was hosting to bring the girls up in between, all the Philly queens giving them their shine and all that other stuff. And the cool thing about that was like everybody did a phenomenal job. All the performances were amazing. I absolutely love it. They really got a force to be reckoned with out there with a lot of girls. And I even seen some queens that performed that. I'm like, I could definitely see y'all on a future season. I don't know about season 17 because season 17 is wrapped, and I don't know if any one of them audition. But season 18, I can see a lot of them girls that were on that stage performing in Philly up there with, making it onto the show in the future. So there was that. And then after that, we went to Frankie Bradley's, which I was like, oh my God, this place is huge. First of all, it looked like a small little whatever, but when you go in, they literally have like 5 different sections. So they were showing us like, oh, there's like the little bar area. Then you have like an area where you can go where it's like quiet. Then you have like the upstairs where you do like your drag shows and the gay part. Then there was the hip hop room. So I'm like, there's all these little rooms and stuff in this one place. We have that similar in New York. But seeing that out in Philly, it was this huge place, and I didn't realize we were literally around the corner from Woody's. Because I ain't been to Woody's in years, but I didn't go there that night because the after party was at Frankie Bradley's, and because I was a part of the whole Sapphira situation, it was, I believe, it was, I think, way more for people to get in that night, but for us, we had a little discount. I didn't mind paying because I was just like, it's whatever. But yeah, so overall, it was a great show. And I had a great time, and it was just great to see Sapphira. And now I didn't get a picture with her. I wanted to get a picture with her, but at the end of the night, from her performing 2 times at um the Brooklyn Bowl, and then performing again, like afterwards, coming to your after party, and then the people that didn't get to see you at this place seeing you at this club because you pretty much reign in Philly and you're like one of the most popular queens out there and you're all doing your thing. Now you're at a point where it's just like I'm exhausted. So by the time the wig was all, the stomach is all over the place. I'm tired. My feet hurt. It's like, so I'm like, I get it. I know what it's like when you all day working on an event and you're performing and doing other stuff. And it's like, child, I don't want to take no more pictures. I don't want to do that. So what for me is that when y'all seen all the stuff on social media, all the videos, the pictures, all the other stuff, to me, just being in the presence of that, and I've always been like that, even when I've worked in places where I've done events with celebrities and all that stuff. It's never been about me being a fan of not I don't know if that's the right word. It's not being a fan of. It's understanding the business, and I'm not always like fiending for a picture. Oh my God, can I please get it? Like, no, I'm not a groupie in that way. It's just like just being in the presence of and getting to be a part of a situation. To me, is more important than just being a groupie and wanting to get a damn photo. So I love that, and I like meeting all the people. The people that were part of Sapphira's crew was lovely. Sapphira's boyfriend was amazing. Sapphira's mother, child, I'm like, she reminded me of my mother. She was lovely too. She the one that, well, actually, Sapphira's boyfriend sold me the shirt, but I did ask. I spoke and had a little brief conversation with Sapphira's mother. Sapphira's mother is like just awesome. So everybody down in Philly, like I was like, damn, you know what? I was like, after hanging out with all these people in Philly and like being even in the clubs, everybody's talking, they want to be friendly. I'm like, bitch, they don't do this in New York. Everybody got a fucking attitude. So I'm just sitting there like, even when you like not even drunk, sober, whatever. I remember a girl, I was walking up the stairs, a girl kicked me or not tripped or whatever, something happened. And like people apologize when they're at fault with stuff. I was like, don't worry about it. It's like I don't know if it was the moon or it was something in the air or maybe it's just the people out there are just nicer. But I just don't understand like why New York is like you look at somebody wrong, they ready to fight, they ready to do something. But the people are nice out there, so that got me to wonder. I'm like, don't be surprised if y'all see Chris move down the Philly and be like, deuces to New York, because New York, y'all getting on my nerves with these overpriced ass fucking apartments. Y'all not the jobs is not paying what need to be paid to be keeping up with these high skyrocketing rents. The food too damn high. Everything is going on. Everybody's got an attitude. Everybody's stressed out. I got to deal with fucking homeless people. Yesterday, I'm coming home and the man going to sit up here and talk about, he asking me for money, but talking about that he could make me money because he a part of the Illuminati. I'm like, well, how are you asking me for fucking money? Make that make sense. So that was the irritation for me. So I say all this to say, Sapphira, I'm rooting for you. I heard she may talk too. You ain't hear that from me, but I did hear she make all the way to the end. So I'll be rooting for her. I live for my New York girls, and I'll be watching and we'll break down all that other stuff when it transpires. Okay, so I do see somebody did leave a comment. Wait, hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Because I forgot to create my, and it's funny, I'm doing all this shit live. It happens. Oh my God, I don't want to put that there. I messed up. Okay, so he said, it's Robert. Ew, how you doing? He said, hello, King of Media, about Majors. Disney fired him, but made sure to get the exclusive interview first. We are definitely going to talk about Jonathan Majors and this whole thing. Because there is definitely, because I was just like, child, that whole shit was a mess. But yeah, so we're gonna get into this RuPaul's Drag Race season 16 recap, or as I like to call it, a recap. But yeah, I'm gonna need you to elaborate more on that other piece that you just said. What was it? Where you said they fired him but made sure to get the exclusive. Now I get it. You don't need to elaborate. I'm just like, I had a slow moment because I'm like, ABC is owned by Disney. Now I get it. Why you said that. So never mind. I got it. So, oh wait, what? No. I can't do the RuPaul's Drag Race recap. I got to talk about this, the movie that I went to go see, and then we get to the topics. I know. I'm just like, it's been a while, child. But yeah. So let me pull up this thing. So yeah. So excuse me. So then yesterday, so I got back. Okay. So after everything with the Airbnb and all that other stuff, I should say I had a really good time in Philly. I enjoyed myself. I would definitely be taking a lot more trips out there. I never really did that whole Airbnb thing, but I'm probably going to do Airbnbs more in the future because I've always did like the hotel situation. So I'm gonna definitely do the whole because the Airbnb was cute. It wasn't even that expensive. I think it was like what $100 and something for just that one night that we stayed there. And the apartment was fierce. So it looked like a little showroom almost, but it was a cute apartment that we stayed in the middle of Chinatown. So it was a cute spot. And then so when we got back, so we got back on Saturday, and then it was like I wanted to go to my friend, I wanted to go to my friend's screening premiere of You Can't Stay Here at the IFC Theater. That was a plan that I was going to go on Friday, but I couldn't because I had prior engagements with the whole RuPaul's Drag Race situation. But the good thing is that my friend Tom Verow was going to be doing a Q&A the entire weekend. So he did one on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know Friday, all the big stars and stuff came out. Chris Fox is in it, who is the boyfriend of a friend of mine by the name of Maddie Glitterati. He was in the video. He's in the movie. There's a lot of people that was in the movie. Boy Radio's in it, who actually had a scene in this previous season's X-rated NYC. He's supposed to be in a relationship with Max Connor. I'm like, chill. I'm not saying nothing because the whole thing about black men. Y'all like black people out here now all of a sudden, or y'all trying to create a narrative for a show? We not gonna. with the whole Jonathan Majors effect. All of a sudden, you run around with these snow bunnies, and then all of a sudden, you wake up one day when the shit hit the fan and the controversy started. Now, all of a sudden, you running back to your people. So, another story for another time. So, so I finally got to go to see You Can't Stay Here yesterday because it was like a 2:15 show. They were going to do a Q&A afterwards. And yeah, I have to say overall I enjoyed the film. If you have not seen, I'm gonna pull up the picture because I got to go. I got to go. I got to go. Yeah, I'm wearing the shirt again. The same shirt I wore yesterday. So I was like, oh, because I wanted to show y'all on the show today. So anyway, so the movie was really good. It was basically about Guillermo Diaz plays this character by the name of Ricky, who has this sense of internalized homophobia. He was married with a child, got caught by the wife in the kitchen having sex with another man. So their whole situation broke up. Then he doesn't have the best relationship with his mother. I believe she suffers from dementia. She kind of belittles him and calls him all kinds of homophobic slurs and that sort of thing. Say, I don't have a son, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So there was a lot of that was going on. So, he's not feeling comfortable in any place in the world other than the Rambles in Central Park, which is where a lot of gay men go to cruise. And the thing was, because I didn't know about this until like the Q&A, because I've never cruised in the Rambles. I never did that sort of thing. I know people who have and continue to. Even during the pandemic, that was another thing too. Like people was out there, yes, they was with their masks, slobbing knobs, and all kinds of stuff in the Rambles. And so I was closely drawn to this because this is a thing, especially when it comes to gay men and just dealing and finding solace in certain things and sense of community. A lot of times when we have our first interaction, it is in places like cruising places, public bathrooms, or parks, or you know sex clubs and that sort of thing. So that's kind of like where we get our release in a lot of these situations, or on now with the apps and sniffies, and now we got blowers, which is specifically for people who want to get a baloney wash and nothing else. Because I said that to a friend of mine. A friend of mine was like, I just want to I just want to S some D. And I was like, why don't you go on blowers? He's like, what's that? I'm like, it's like sniffies, but it's just for guys who want to just give some head. So yeah, they've created these things now where it's, if you have a specific thing that you want to do, because some people are like that. Look, we got all these different terms coming out now with sides and all this other stuff. That why don't they create things for people that only want specific things? So basically, with him is that's why he's always going to the Rambles, is because that's the one place where he feels like he can be free and he can be his authentic self. So it's like unpacking that. Then on top of that, you get this whole situation where there's a serial killer that's killing men that are out here cruising in these places. So it's got a little bit of that cruising vibe, but it's a little more realistic, and it's kind of got that psychological thriller horror type of vibe. So it's definitely like it's one of those micro budget, real indie type movies. Don't expect Scream level type of stuff to be seen in the film. It's very low budget, but that's kind of how it is, especially when you're directing and doing a lot of stuff on your own and you're Mr. DIY. Like I have a lot of friends that are DIY directors. My friend Alex Fernandez, he's well known doing a lot of stuff that he does with his, he does the writing, directing, special effects, the lighting, all that other stuff. He does everything himself with no money. And it looks better than half the shit y'all see coming out of Marvel and DC combined. So I'm always one that's going to go out there and support my contemporaries, a lot of my friends who are out here doing, what needs to be done. Because it ain't easy getting out here, making a movie or being creative in that aspect. So if you guys get a chance, definitely head to the IFC Theater. I believe it's there until this upcoming Thursday, the 11th. So if you get a chance, definitely go out and check the movie. And we need to support queer cinema. I do believe he did say, my friend Tom, he did say that it is coming to LA in February. So if you are in February, and I forgot where else he said that, it's going to be at. But I think if you go about it, you could probably go on there. I was like, what site is it on? Because let me see. Because You Can't Stay Here film. Because I was like, let me look and see all the people that liked it. So you can go on You Can't Stay Here film on Instagram, and I'm sure they'll have the release dates of when you could actually go see the film, because it was actually pretty good. It's not, a lot of crazy stuff going on, but yeah, it's very much enjoyable. And if you like, artsy, micro budget type movies and stuff where it's got like a thing. And my thing was, it's like my friend, he was like, I didn't really get it and whatever, because I think it's a generational thing. I think a lot of this, because the movie takes place in the 90s, so I didn't get a lot of the stuff either, but I got certain things based off of what my older gay friends have told me about their experiences of cruising and sex and coming to terms with their sexuality and surviving the AIDS crisis and all that stuff. I was way too young to be out there doing all of that. First of all, that would have been like Chester Molester getting my ass if I was going. I didn't even know anything about a Rambo, let alone cruising, sex, all that. I wasn't thinking about all of that. I was in school getting my education and not worrying about hunching because I was way too young. So, I wasn't old enough to go to bars and clubs and things until like the 2000s. I did hang out on the pier a lot, but it wasn't until like the 2000s or whatever that I was able to be old enough to go to those type of establishments. So if you guys get a chance, definitely check out You Can't Stay Here, because it's cute and it's good. And shout out to all the people. And I have to say, Gilbert Diaz is actually quite lovely in person. He's small too. Like, I didn't realize how short he was, but I was like, oh, he's bite sized. I'm not saying he like a fidget. He looked like he was about at least 5'7", 5. He like about 5'7" because I'm 5'10". So he looked like he was giving like 5'6", 5'7". But I loved him with the little leather jacket and the Beyonce t-shirt that he had on. And at certain parts when you ask him questions, he was like, oh, let me see what Beyonce says. And he would put the microphone to the stomach, being silly. So I kind of like that little silly banter. He's been acting for a long time. Like, he's been making movies and TV shows and stuff for 3 decades. And I'm like, oh, he's a little snacking person. I would have jumped on that. But I don't know. If you in a relationship and stuff, I don't rock nobody's boat. But anyway, so yeah, shout out to him. All right, so let's get into this recap real quick, and then we're going to get to these celebrity news and topics, because I know this is probably going to be a long one today, because it's been 3 days for me to get to all the tea and stuff. So RuPaul's Drag Race premiered on Friday. And yes, I did enjoy it with the crowd, but then watch it, because I have to say, I do realize, and I think I've known this for a long time, when you go to the RuPaul's Drag Race shows and you watch it with an audience, the energy is way different than you sitting in your own living room and watching stuff. I think in your living room, you can pick shit apart. And I was going to be like, I'm going to watch it with the audience and I'm going to watch it again when I get home. But that didn't happen, because the next day when I was still in Philly, my friend David he airdropped the episode onto the flat screen TV in the living room. We sat and watched it again. So I didn't really need to watch it again. I watched it there. So the episode was cute. I don't know how I feel yet about the whole Raider Queen situation. Um, yeah, I'm still on the fence about that. It's kind of like this whole Golden Beaver thing on Canada's Drag Race. I ain't liking that either. I mean, I do like the idea of like, okay, you're the winner. The bottom, there's queens who are in the bottom. Which one are you gonna save? I actually have an idea for a drag show that I want to put together, or something, or another, produce, host, whatever the case is. I do have an idea for a whole elimination thing. I don't want to spill on here because I don't want anybody stealing my idea, but producer people, if y'all want, if y'all want to link up, hit a bitch up. All my information's in the description down below. But so yeah, I don't know how I feel about that whole thing. The Razor Queen thing is still on the fence. I don't know how you guys feel about it. If y'all have an idea of how you feel, let me know in the comments of how you feel about the whole thing. But I don't know how I feel. I do love the idea that they're bringing immunity back, because we haven't had immunity, I believe, since season 5. I think is when they stopped doing immunity. So I do like that they brought immunity back. Or was it more than that? If I'm mistaken on that, definitely let me know. But they've cut out immunity. I think that was during the logo seasons when they stopped, doing they were only doing immunity. But I'm glad they're bringing it back, because I'm like, why don't y'all bring immunity? So I do like the fact that they're going back to the old stuff, and they're rejudging a lot of the old stuff. I do like I know a lot of people don't like the whole split premiere thing, but I actually like it, because y'all have 14 queens, 16 queens. Y'all do need to break it up so that way we can get to know the queens on their own accord and see what they can do. I did like the idea of the whole spring break concept, when it was like, oh, we're going to do MTV Spring Break with drag queens. So I did like the idea. I will say this, as far as the pit crew, can y'all get rid of ASAP? I don't particularly like him. I've never really liked him. But now y'all got the little straight boy that y'all want to be flaunting around up in there. Calix, y'all can keep him. And Bruno, y'all can keep him. Um I still miss Jason, but I know he's not coming back anymore. And so I do miss some of the old pit crew, and I do like that y'all remix it. I do think, as far as the judges go, y'all made it shake some shit up. I think it's time that we get rid of Carson and we get rid of um who's the other one? Ross Matthews. They need to go. I do like T.S. Madison being a part of the show. I think y'all need to incorporate her more into Drag Race. And I think y'all need one more personality to kind of be a revolving door. So we need like some fresh meat, some fresh blood on Drag Race. I'm over Carson and Ross. And I think y'all need to utilize T.S. Madison more. Y'all might as well. Y'all use a lot of her damn phrases on the show. Step your pussy up comes from T.S. Madison. So um I do think that we need a lot of stuff with that. Now, I will say this. As far as the queens this season, I'm living for them. I do love, um, oh yeah, so I didn't know that the one thing I did not know about this Raider Queen thing, they got that from The Circle. I've never seen The Circle. I know a lot of people talk about The Circle. I've heard great things about The Circle, but I've never actually watched it. I don't know. It takes a lot for me to really sit and watch like game show concepts or that sort of or dating show stuff, unless it's rooted in the gays. And I'll watch it, but I just don't be caring enough. Um, I did love the idea of Tsunami throwing shade at the TikTok queens thing because people was all about, and I hope y'all didn't drag her for it. Like I live for queens being shady, and can we just allow queens to be shady this season? Like I love Tsunami making throwing her little shade, and Morphine child. Morphine to me, I feel is going to be the Mistress Isabel Brooks of the season because she threw shade at a mandatory meetings visible breastplate neckline. um, she was throwing shade throughout the whole damn show. Was talking about, it was cute. No, not really. I just didn't like it. Like how she would just say certain things. I love stuff like that because it's like it's queens being queens, and people need to understand that is the banter that goes on at a lot of drag shows and stuff. So let the girls be the girls. What else? Now, I did love Dawn's opening when she came in with the whole Rise and Shine motherfuckers as Dawn. And then, Tsunami coming in doing but then again, Candy did the same thing. So it was kind of like, okay, we did that already. So there was that. And I did love the fact that they incorporated the whole MTV Spring Break thing in the situation because I forgot that RuPaul he said, I've been crying queen since the 90s or crying people since the 90s. And I have to say, when Michelle Visage, and I live for Sapphira, but when she read Sapphira's boobs, her breastplate, and called them Fisher Price my first boobs, child, the cackle throughout the room was infectious. I could not stop laughing. All right. I was like, that is hilarious. Because I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, you're right. But then come to find out, Sapphira got those at the last minute online because, like, when she says, and at the end of the show, I don't remember where I think I posted on Facebook because friends of mine was talking about the drag race thing. So I did record where she had like this litter of people that was on stage that helped her put everything together for drag race. So yes, it does take a village. Um, she came out and she said, her breastplate thing got better, but from what I heard is that she got them at the last minute because, trying to put everything together. So she ordered them online and at least they match the skin tone. So yeah, I do agree. Like when you get the breastplate, they gotta at least look, especially to your body type and your size, you got to make sure your boobs is on point. And I did love the fact that Charlize Theron was on the show because I love Charlize. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that doesn't Charlize have a trans child? I believe that that's probably what resonated with her being a part of the show. And you know what? I know a lot of people because I remember I was having a conversation with someone and they got a little irritated that Charlize called a dip a death drop. And I was like, child, I know it's a dip. A lot of time, or maybe what they need to do is figure out how to use the vernacular for the show to incorporate for their thing. But then I think what is going to be is that the ballroom community feel like, oh, y'all taking our phrases, y'all taking the things that we do in our community, and y'all trying to water it down for this thing over here known as Drag Race, and they're not liking it. If you're going to use terminologies, use the terminologies correctly. But I'm not going to necessarily blame Charlize, because a lot of times with a lot of these big celebrities, when they watch Drag Race, they're getting their education from watching these shows. They're not going to balls. They don't know nothing about Legendary. First of all, HBO Max done wiped the whole damn show off the map, so we don't even know what's happening with that. So nobody even knows the historical context of a lot of these things. And they wasn't calling it, what they calling it, dip in Paris is Burning? I'm trying to remember. I've seen that movie 5,000 times, can't remember. But there's that with that. And yeah, so and I actually loved the fact that when we got the history of Click Clack with even though I kind of knew that it was based on, like the lucite heels from the strippers that they be wearing, the shoes be clicking when they be on the poles or other stuff. So in regards to my list, and then we're gonna wrap this up because I want to give my Raider Queen in regards of this situation. So my top, so there were 7 queens. So here's my top. I mean the bottom. I'm gonna start from the bottom on up. So number 7, I'm gonna say Tsunami Muse. She, in my opinion, was my least favorite performance. My thing with her is this: you come from the house of Muse. I think everybody from the house of Aja. I said the House of Muse. They're all from the House of Aja, actually, because Aja had, they were all part of Aja's house. Now, the thing with this is, I think there's only one queen that was from the House of Aja that has not been on the show, and she gave up drag. That's Momo Shade. But everybody else from Aja, you had Candy, you had, oh my God, who's the one that also does porn? I forgot. But I would just say this: every other queen that is a part of the House of Aja has been on Drag Race. Except Momo Shade. Like I said, she quit drag, so she don't, do drag anymore. But every girl from that house has been on the show. There's a big reputation that you have because, you got to be able to step your pussy out. I know you thought you was Naomi Smalls when you came up on that stage and you was strutting around with your little song, but truth be told, it was underwhelming. Like, you can't just be strutting around the stage. And I think even when Naomi Smalls did her performance back in the day with the model, the bitch track that she did and was pumping around the stage, she at least put some effort into the performance. You just thought just getting up there being fierce and was going to be enough to sell it. That may work in a club, but when you're in a show like one of the biggest drag shows in the world, you really gotta, in the words of what we were saying, step your pussy up. And I don't feel like she did. So you could at least did a stunt. I thought you was gonna start dancing, like do something. She just walked back and forth. Now, my number 6 choice, I will say, now after Tsunami, I will say, well, before Tsunami, because that'd be number 6, right? A Mandatory Meeting. Now, I told y'all, I live for a pun in a name. A Mandatory Meeting is a hilarious ass drag name. Perfect. But I do agree that I did not really particularly care for her number. I just felt like she was trying to go a little Pandora box with her comedy, with her comedic number. But I just didn't feel like um she was convincing. Like, she sold it. I don't feel like she didn't really sell the performance. Like when they say, even if your outfit is busted, sell the garment. I just don't feel like you sold the performance, or you were 110% settled within that performance. So she just didn't give what needed to be given. I know she's trying, and I know, what's the name, read her. Sapphira read her in regards of, like, the pain, or her whole drag thing. But they are friends. She says that they have spent hours on the phone talking, giving advice, that sort of thing. And that's what you want to do. You want to mentor the girls and help them be better. Now, number 5, I will say, is Mirage. I did love Mirage with the clacking of the heels. And from what Sapphira said when we were there, because we were doing our own Roscoe's, when, they were questioning the girls, because Honey Devil, all of them was sitting across in between the commercial break. They mute the show and they be asking behind the scenes tea that was going on with Drag Race. I don't know if a lot of y'all know this, but they actually filmed the performance that y'all watched, the spring break stuff, they perform it twice. So they do 2 takes. And I think that is smart to do, because it's like, one take, I want to sit and see what you're doing as a judge. The second take, you're doing it again. Now, I already seen it. I know what to expect, but now I'm going to be paying attention to the details and all that other stuff. And then I can have my notes. So that when Michelle is judging you, like when she made that comment, talking about, when you do a performance, and I believe she said that to Mirage, when you do a performance, you have to make sure that it is precise to the point where it's like you did it once and then you do it again and you didn't change it up. And it's not the same as the performance from before. That's what I believe she was referring to. So so yeah, I do agree that Mirage, she was cute, and I love the clacking of the heels, but I wanted a little more. And you know what? Some of the stunts was cute, but I just felt like she could have gave us a little more. I do love Dion's performance because she gave us like old school drag, which is well, not only the reads, but the performances and stuff as well. Like she performed to a Rosalia song, which you know I am obsessed. I love me some Rosalia. She performed to Rosalia. Um, and bringing her Latina heritage and stuff onto the stage and performing. Now that runway look with the towel, that was a giving. It was a little weak on my part. And she didn't really give what needed to be given. But for the most part, I did love her performance, and I do love an old school drag number where it's just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get up there, y'all gonna play the song, and I'm gonna just give y'all a fierce, sexy, sultry dance number, and everything ain't gotta be crazy stunts. But bitch, oh wait, we can't get to that one yet because I was gonna say my number two choice was giving like amazing stunt stuff. I do love Dawn. You know, Dawn is the Brooklyn girl. You know, and I am rooting for her. Dawn is giving me like I know some people try to compare her to Denim over on Canada's Drag Race. I'm like, no, they could probably be in the same family, sort of, but Dawn reminds me a little bit of Gottmik, and she reminds me, oh my god, who else was I saying that she reminds me of? Willow Pill. That's what she reminds me of. She gives me kind of like that Willow Pill, weird, unique vibe. So I'm actually living for Dawn this season. I hope she actually makes it all the way to the, at least top four or something or another. But as far as her lip sync number, I do feel like it could have been a little bit better. But the one, of course, the top two, I was gotta say Q. Q with that whole puppet thing where it was just like her head was sticking out, and then the ballet where she was using her hands as her feet. That was a cackle. I absolutely lived for that, and I knew like Rue was gonna love it because Rue loves stupid shit like that. So it was a great performance on that part. And Sapphira Cristal, of course, being number one, giving the opera performance where she actually got up there and sang opera. I don't know if y'all seen the music video, but she did air the music video the next day where the man that she's singing to happens to be Katya in like looking like, with wrinkles and all this other stuff. So Katya is in the video, and then you got Sapphira getting on the table or whatever, or across from the table, that she gets on the table and she's singing a song of opera where she's talking about her father and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I did love the idea of her singing this classic opera song, but then it's translated into this stupid little comedic whatever. And so absolutely love that. Them performing Q and Sapphira winning the challenge and doing Break My Soul, I will say was hilarious. But Q, you had no chance in hell of winning. Like that was obviously going to be hands down given to Sapphira. So I say this overall to say I'm definitely looking forward to this upcoming season, what they're going to bring. I know some people's like, oh, it was all right. It didn't really bring what needed to be brought, but I'm like, I don't know. Next week's episode, I don't know if it's going to give. That trailer was kind of giving mediocre. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so Robert says I think independent cinemas for queer art is preferred because you can't add stuff that major cinema won't allow. Sex and be in your face of explicitness. I watched So Damn on Shudder. Major would pass. Did I ever see that movie? I don't know if I saw that, but I probably have to check that out. Yeah, a lot of times it's like when you go the independent route and you could show stuff at like the IFC theater or the oh my god, what's the other, is it the Quad? It's like we have our and that's what I love about New York. We have our queer movie theaters where they show like queer independent films and all this other stuff, so they're very open minded in that way. And we need to definitely support independent films because it's like it's not easy to be out here making movies like this. So okay, so now let's get to the rest of the show, child. Because we already almost an hour in, and I spent majority of it on drink on my whole situation that went down. But anyway, huge congratulations. Let's give it to Keke Palmer, who is out here breaking all kinds of records. Now, Palmer won the Emmy for Outstanding Host for a game show for NBC's Password, the first time that the category has been part of the Primetime Emmys after moving from the Daytime Awards. Now, she ended up beating Jeopardy host Ken Jennings and Mayim Bialik, Family Feud's Steve Harvey, and Wheel of Fortune's Pat Sajak. Now, Palmer becomes the first woman to win the award since 2009 excuse me, when Meredith Vieira won for the syndicated run of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. She is also the first Black woman to be nominated or win the category. It also marks the first time in 50 years that a password host has been nominated or won the category. Harvey won last year, and Alex Trebek won 3 years prior to that. So I will say that Keke, I didn't know the show was produced by Jimmy Fallon. And so she thanked him. And she was just saying that she's speechless. She was so thankful. And she also thanked Carol Burnett, who, is a comedy and TV icon. So this is actually Palmer's first Emmy for winning game show host as a Black woman. But this is not the first Emmy she's ever won. This is actually, I believe, her second Emmy because she picked up an award for Outstanding Actress in a Short Form Comedy or Drama Series for Facebook Watch series Turned Up with the Taylors in 2021. So congratulations to her. I actually am loving the fact that, regardless of what Kiki's going through in her personal life, that in regards of her career, it's still thriving. She's winning awards. People are loving on her, and she's doing what needs to be done. And like she said, like, look, I gotta have a multitude of jobs. In between her acting, she out here hosting and all this other stuff. And she got the personality to be out here hosting. So kudos to her for doing what needs to be done. Okay. All right, so let's move on and let's talk about Sophie Ellis Bextor and Murder on the Dance Floor. Oh my God, I totally forgot to bring up. So, before we get to this topic, because I want to bring up this whole drag race thing again. Did y'all hear that, the show, remember the show Roscoe's that comes on with Batty and Naysha Lopez? Well, apparently you got to pay a premium to watch the show now. Before it used to be free on YouTube, and now they're talking about because my friend brought it up to me last night. He called me. He was like, something was something. I was like, wait a minute, isn't the whole Roscoe's episode supposed to air with Detox and who else was on the Juju beat? So apparently they were going to be on. They were going to talk about the show and all this other stuff. I thought that I was like, oh, so I'm gonna go and watch it when I get back to New York and this whole thing and watch the show. Kind of find out the show ain't even that you gotta pay for it now. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So this show's been free for the longest, but now you're charging people to sit and have to watch your recap of RuPaul or your after show, whatever the hell you call it, with RuPaul's drag a viewing party. So now I gotta pay for it. It's $2, which I totally get. But at this point in dire times where everybody already bitching about how much streaming services cost, and how expensive everything is, and people already like doing, they're cutting down on their streaming services. First of all, I think at this point, because I've noticed like HBO Max, all these other things, they're outsourcing their movies and stuff to Netflix. So should I get rid of Max? Should I get rid of Paramount Plus? Should I get rid of all these things? Because it seems like Netflix is getting every damn thing. You can watch all the DCU movies over there, DCEU, because DCU is about to come up. But the DCEU movie, you can watch all that over there. I'm seeing all these other. I'm like, wait a minute. Since when y'all getting all this stuff over here? So there's really no point of keeping, excuse me, these other streaming services. So now you want me to have to pay money to watch Roscoe's do their drag race viewing party when Naysha with her stink ass attitude, throwing shade at people for recording or whatever it is. They look in her direction. She got a problem. So I don't get the whole. So I don't know. We'll see how long that lasts because I don't think the fans are gonna like that too damn much in regards of having to pay another damn premium to watch one of their favorite shows. I was like, well, why don't you do something where it's just like y'all have extra stuff? You can go to a Patreon or set up a super chat or whatever the case is that people could set up something the night before. Send in your super chat questions from home where we can ask your question live on the air. So you can ask the audience and then you ask a couple of questions, whoever sits at the thing across from the queens, have them ask the questions that were sent in via super chat or something or another. That's how y'all can make y'all money. I know it's expensive or whatever the case is to probably book these girls and get them to come on your show, but you got to find ways of like still keeping those numbers up, being able to monetize and that sort of thing, and not just set up something where it's just like you've pretty much, pushed out your viewing audience because people ain't out here trying to pay for no extra stuff. I'm not saying like, but if something's free, been free for the longest, and now you want to charge people, it's just like, huh? But whatever, y'all do what y'all do. We'll see how long that shit lasts. Now let's get into this whole thing I just wanted to say that because I actually was supposed to bring that up prior, but I had forgotten because there was so much going on. So I'm sure. So look, let's give a congratulations again because we're just congratulating a lot of people today to Sophie Alex Bextor, who has been Kate Bushed. Yes, I made that up, which basically means a musician who has hit its in whose past hit is enjoying a successful resurgence thanks to their song being introduced to a new audience via TV or film. So yes, that is what I'm calling it. She's been Kate Bushed thanks to her 2001 song Murder on the Dance Floor being used in the film Saltburn. Now, per Rolling Stone, Murder on the Dance Floor is going viral thanks to its inclusion in the film's final scene, in which its star, Oscar nominee Barry Keoghan, dances nude. The very scene has inspired a number of users on TikTok to share themselves doing the Saltburn dance, including Ellis Bextor herself. Well, I hope y'all got clothes on when y'all doing it. Well, you have to because if it's on TikTok, you can't be up in there butt ass naked. But it could you imagine, or maybe people could just do a Twitter version. But she said, it actually feels really magical. And if I'm honest, I don't think I've completely processed it really. This is what the 44-year-old UK singer told the BBC. It's extraordinary. It's a song I've been singing for over 20 years. I still love singing it. I love the way people react when I do it live. But for new people to be discovering it, for it to be making new memories with people is kind of beautiful. Now, Alex Bextor told people that she had a few details about how her song would be used when it was time to clear the single for the film's use. She said this little synopsis described how the character will be dancing, but I didn't have any context. I've got quite a quirky sense of humor anyway, so I was like, I think I have to see how this plays out. Now, Murder on the Dance Floor was a major hit in her home country when it first was released, reaching the #2 spot on the official charts company singles chart per a report from Billboard. After the release of Saltburn, the song has repeaked at #8 on the UK charts, per the BBC. Now, despite its initial modest success in the US back in the day, reaching #26 on Billboard's Dance Club Songs chart, Murder is currently making waves stateside at #3 on Billboard's Dance Electronic Song Sales chart, according to Rolling Stone. On Billboard's TikTok chart, the track sits at #32. So, I have to say, with this song, I do feel like um, Murder on the Dance Floor was before its time. It came out 23 years ago, and it was cute when it was released, but I don't think people was ready for it. Now it's just like, thanks to TikTok and things being used in movies and all this other stuff, the song is taking on a whole new meaning because I wasn't even thinking about what it needed to be. But like I said before, thanks to Saltburn, I can't look at Murder on the Dance Floor the same way ever again because you're getting Barry Keoghan unabashedly just dancing around awkwardly after everything he's done throughout this movie and gagged everybody. Now he's dancing throughout the estate, butt ass naked to this song. And I live for it. It's a great scene. And I know a lot of people are just suddenly here talking about, oh, the shock value. Oh, was everybody all um getting all bent out of shape over this whole him drinking the bath water of Jacob Elordi's character? Like when he gets out the tub, there's a scene where he's pleasuring himself, then he gets out the tub, and then the water's going down, and then Oliver goes into the tub and he's like the last bit of water is like circling the drain, and he goes and it starts slurping it up like it's the last bit of soup he's eating out of the bowl. And people gagged over that, and then he's humping a damn grave site, pull his pants down in the rain, stick his penis in the dirt, and he's fucking the damn dirt. And then and then the period blood scene. Like there was a bunch of shocking moments in there, but it was, to me, it was, those scenes were more deeper than that. It's Oliver basically just playing this psychological mind game with this family who's all kinds of fucked up and taking their riches and everything for granted, but they're not happy. So it's like, well, bitch, if y'all not happy with what's going on, let me take it off your hands. And I'm not going to spoil a whole bunch of stuff, but y'all definitely need to see the movie if you haven't. It's definitely a good movie. I know all the hype and stuff surrounding it is probably going to turn people off and make people think like, oh, well, this movie is so overhyped. Now it's like, well, how do I approach it? Or you're going to have certain expectations going in. I just feel like just try not to go in with such high expectations because of all the hype that everybody's talking about on social media and all the videos and the memes and all that stuff. And just go in and just watch the film. Try to relax and watch the film and just take in what it is and then come to your own conclusion. So that's what I have to say on that. And I do feel like this is great that she's kind of get in this feeling because you know what, with Kate Bush and the whole thing with Run Up That Hill, how that song had its resurgence thanks to it being used on the last season of Stranger Things. And people just love that song, and it just, like, to me, it's a nostalgic song because I remember when I was a little kid and I was hearing it. So, um, yeah, so congratulations to her. And I also heard, and I'm really looking forward to, like, did they ever announce who was nominated for an Oscar? I don't even know if the Oscar nominations or whatever came out. I don't know. There's been a lot going on with Hollywood, so I don't remember. But I do hope that Barry gets nominated for a best supporting, best actor. I don't know where they're gonna fit him in because I was like, was his character a supporting character or was it a lead? So wherever they put him, I do hope he gets nominated because while this hype surrounding Saltburn, he definitely deserves it. And last but certainly not least, with this whole thing with Jacob. Oh, so Jacob Elordi, two things. So I just heard that he has been selected he's been cast as Frankenstein in the upcoming Frankenstein movie that Guillermo del Toro's doing. Initially, it was supposed to be Andrew Garfield. He dropped out. Jacob Elordi has been cast. I read that this morning. I saw that on Fangoria's website that Jacob Elordi not gonna play Frankenstein. I saw people was talking about why y'all gotta hire somebody good looking to play him. I'm like, who said that Jacob Elordi is going to be an attractive Frankenstein? Yes, he's a good-looking guy, but I'm looking at it as like this dude is tall. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5". So that definitely, and he's tall and lanky, so that works for playing Frankenstein. And with all the makeup effects and stuff, you can make Jacob Elordi look unattractive. Look, Brad Pitt went through his whole career doing scenarios where he got tired of y'all talking about how hot he was, so he would go out and make himself unattractive. Remember when he did, what was the movie? 12 Monkeys, he cracked his damn teeth on purpose so he could make himself look unattractive and fucked up his hair. I think he cut it with scissors on his own. So Brad Pitt went above and beyond in certain films that he played to make himself look Hollywood ugly, so that way y'all could take him seriously as an actor because he got tired of y'all with about how hot he was. So I could definitely see Jacob Elordi. Look, some people can't help the fact that they good looking, but as long as you take on certain roles and you know how to just like get lost in it and make yourself not look so hot, then I think that's great. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what Jacob's going to be doing with that. And there was another thing. So because I want to bring this up too, I want to give a shout out to Coleman Domingo. One, he talked about um the whole thing in regards to like the whole Jonathan Majors said, oh yeah, I'm gonna save that for later and bring that up during the Jonathan Majors topic, which is right after this one because I want to say that for that. But there was something he also said regarding Rustin. I do agree with him on this. Why is it that Rustin is not getting a lot of Oscar buzz? Why are we not talking? Why are not enough people talking about it? He was talking about he was shocked to find out how many people still have not seen this movie. It's on Netflix. If you have not seen Rustin, watch the movie. We're sitting over here pining about homoeroticism and stuff in Saltburn. That's cute and fine and all. But we also need to support our Black queer civil rights leaders. So if you have not seen Rustin, watch this damn movie on Netflix and spread the word and get the buzz out there and let's get to talking about it because I do get that. It's like y'all put so much energy and emphasis in all these other films and these white gay films or these movies that hint at homosexuality but don't really go there. But then when we actually have a film with a Black man in the lead playing a gay character and all those, so we hearing the stuff about fellow travelers. We've been hearing about all this other stuff, but nobody's really talking about Rustin. So that's what I'm here for. So, what else? We got comments. Is Jacob Elordi by that Brad Pitt crush? I mean, he might be, or it could be the fact that European men. I mean, he is Australian, so forgive me for my lack of geography education, but that's kind of like, you know, other side of the world, very European, people who are outside of America, I feel like they're more open-minded when it comes to sex and sexuality. So I don't know. Jacob Elordi could be bisexual or he could just be very open, in touch with his feelings and the fact that, you know what, if I see a guy, I think he's attractive, then he's good looking. I don't know, if he hasn't come out and said he's bi, pan, whatever the case is, I'm not gonna go out here and jump on that. But to me, Jacob Elordi is like he's not American, so he's very open minded when it comes to I feel like his sexuality and embracing it and not being afraid to say like, okay, well, there's a hot guy there, he's good looking, I have a man crush. So it is what it is. I'm waiting until the Emmys hot topic and how they have to stop asking comedian to host now. The slap Okay. So, and I'm glad you reminded me of this because we sitting there, we was talking about the Emmys, we was talking about this other stuff. I will say this, I did not watch the Golden Globes last night because I didn't care. I've always felt like the Golden Globes is just a waste of airtime. I've never understood the point of the Golden Globes. It has no bearings on what happens with the Oscars. So it really doesn't make any sense why they do that. You know, they have the Screen Actors Guild Awards, they have all these other award shows that kind of have a play in that. But Golden Globes, to me, they've always gotten it wrong with stuff. Like even with the certain categories, Taylor Swift being nominated amongst movies when you're a documentary, music, film, whatever. So sometimes their categories don't make no damn sense to me. Um, I will say this. I do feel like there is something that is shifted, but I feel like it's happened for a long time in regards of shows, like award shows. What's happening with hosts? I feel like hosts aren't even allowed to host anymore. Comedians can't be funny because it's like celebrities have gotten too damn sensitive. When I was growing up and I used to watch like the MTV VMAs and all this other stuff, the comedians would go in and let have on the celebrities. Yeah, it was a little harsh. Like that time when, you know, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog asked J-Lo if he could sniff her butt. That was kind of funny, but I know she didn't like I did cackle. I remember that. Or the part when what was it? Was it Borat that put his ass on the Eminem's face and Eminem damn near lost his damn mind in front of the audience? So there's been many of things where it was like you have your comedians who do things and it is funny. Or you had Chris Rock that back in the day went in and let have on the comedians and stuff. But then now we're in a post Will Smith slap era where because Will Smith too goddamn sensitive because over the years y'all kept calling him a punk and all this other stuff. The one time he felt like he had to rise up, look at what happened now. His career's kind of at a stalemate. I don't know what the future holds on that. I hope we get to see more Will Smith. He made a mistake. We've never seen him kind of getting that way anymore. But I just feel like with award shows, it's hard for comedians to be funny. I don't know who hosted the Emmys because I didn't get to watch it. Like I told you, I was running around in Philly and doing all this other stuff, so I didn't have time to watch awards. I didn't even know the Emmys was on until I happened to be checking my messages to talk about what topics I was going to be bringing up, and I saw like people was winning Emmys. I'm like, when did the Emmys happen? I just know about the Golden Globes because I seen all the advertisements and stuff about it, and I saw the red carpets, and I saw friends of mine posting a lot of the looks and stuff from people, and I know a lot of people saying that the looks was underwhelming and all that other stuff. So, but I did see like a lot of people was going in on Joe Coy talking about he was not funny. I don't know. I've been following Joe Coy for and I know a lot of people aren't familiar with him, but I am aware of Joe Coy. I knew Joe Coy back in the day when he used to be on Chelsea Lately. That's where I knew him from. Same thing with Ross Matthews and so many other people. So I knew Joe Coy from there. And then he did end up dating um Chelsea Handler for years. So I never got to see, I didn't get to see the show. I did see some of the joke. I mean, I did hear some of the jokes. I did see the Taylor Swift joke about, the difference between her being here versus at a football game that at least at the Golden Globes, you get less camera shots of Taylor Swift, which isn't true because first of all, them camera shots, they always pan to her at every award show. Have you ever watched her at the goddamn VMAs? How many? We should have did a drinking game in 2023. Take a shot every time Taylor Swift, a camera pans to her dancing in the audience, rhythmically challenged, dancing and all, drinking, having a good time. But we probably all be blacked out, drunken in the hospital. If we did that. So it's not just the football games that she does with Travis Kelce. It's every event that she goes to. And the Golden Globes knew what the hell they were doing. They nominated Taylor Swift in the category they nominated her in, or nominated her in general because they knew that she was going to be they knew that she was going to bring up the ratings on her. I don't know what the ratings are. I'll have to check it, but they knew that she'd be a ratings draw and they used her for that. So we understand the assignment. I do. Hollywood's being even more sensitive and being safe from jokes and criticism. And that's why their shows have gotten boring. They've gotten lame, and people really don't care because it's like when I grew up watching award shows. That's what we looked forward to. It wasn't just all a bunch of ass. Because first of all, it's not like y'all are out here curing cancer. It's not like y'all trying to save the world from a meteor coming to crash down on this planet and send us into extinction. It's not like you're doing it. You actually get paid to pretend to be someone other than yourself for a fucking living. So for these actors to be out here trying to act all like Oh, well, I'm too sensitive. You can't make fun of me. It's like, get off your high horse with that bullshit. Learn to laugh at yourself. I know you're all nervous because you're hoping that you win your awards, whatever. But a lot of these actors out here, y'all so in your little bubbles and so serving, like Jonathan Majors when I get to his ass in a goddamn minute. Um, and Joe Coy, he was trashed badly and blamed the. Oh yeah, so that's another thing too. Now, Joe Coy. I combine the names. Now, Joe, I feel like as someone who was a comedian and a writer and came out with a movie last year, which was panned at the box office, they said that shit was terrible. I don't know. I didn't watch the movie that he came out with. It was the last year or the year before. He came out with a movie that came and went in the theaters. Movie bombed big time. They said the movie was terrible. I think it was with his family or something or another. It was supposed to be a comedy, but they said it was unfunny, which makes sense about his material. So you're gonna be out here and you're gonna make fun of writers and throw shade at them for wanting better living wages, and you're a writer yourself. So I would have thought you would have been on the side of talent and writing and all the other stuff and not trying to throw shade because you're trying to kiss the asses of these people that gave your ass an opportunity to get a job. Because quiet as it's kept, there was a list of comedians they tried to get to host this event and they was like, oh, hell no, we're not doing it. And because Joe Coy is someone who is lesser known and he has, I guess, nothing to lose, this is an opportunity for him because, and I've always said that they should do this with comedy or with anything. Why don't the industry give enough of the people that's no shade at the bottom of the barrel an opportunity to have this big moment of, of this big career explosion? Everybody don't start up here. Everybody got to start up here and work their way up to the top and not just start up here. Y'all always want to get the bigger name. Y'all always want a Ricky Gervais, or y'all always want an Amy Poehler, or you always want an Ellen, or you want to, like, no, give it to this comedian that y'all just heard that's been grinding for 20 years, but never had that opportunity to get up there and tell a joke, and who don't give a damn. So I do love the fact that they gave Joe Coy the opportunity. Now, according to the people, he dropped the ball and he wasn't funny, so that's on him. But like they said, like Eminem says in that song, "Lose yourself. You got one shot." Right? So Ricky Gervais refused the whole. Oh yeah. But he did win a Golden Globe last night. He beat Chris Rock, and I will have to say this: Chris Rock's last comedy special that was on Netflix, I didn't find it funny. Even then, when he saved the whole thing with the Will Smith slap thing at the end, it just felt like he was just mad and just was ranting and raving, ranting about the whole Chris Rock situation. I mean, the whole Will Smith situation. That I just don't feel like it was the jokes. The jokes didn't land for me. And then Robert says they also had the nerve to ask Chris Rock. And Chris Rock but they probably thought it was like, oh yeah, this could be your comeback moment. That if you come on our show and you do this thing, then you have your moment where it's like, oh yeah, the king is back. No, because no, you're not going to use me for your ratings, child. And then you're going to try to stifle what I could say in regards to jokes. Because my thing is, the next person that come up on stage and slap the shit out of me, I'm carrying a weapon and I'm macing you, or I'm smacking you with I'm gonna have like one of those, those police sticks, or like a whip or something. I'm gonna have some kind of weapon. Somebody getting cut that night if you come at me. So, yeah, so that was dumb on their part. They really thought that he was gonna come out. Okay, so let's get to the rest of the topics. Child, let's talk about this Jonathan Majors interview. So I did watch the interview this morning. It was in two parts, and I have to say, Jonathan Majors, whoever advised you to do this interview, fire them immediately. What the hell was you thinking? I don't know why the hell this heifer decided to fix his mouth. Soft ass voice, by the way. And that's no shade. I'm not trying to say gay or whatever, but it's just the way he was talking was just irritating me. It irritated my spirit. I just felt like the energy was all wrong. I just felt this whole interview was just a bad idea from the beginning. And I do find it funny because Robert pointed this out, that it's like, oh, the very company that fired you got the exclusive interview. So he was fired from Disney. But Disney got via GMA got the exclusive interview with you doing, and you should have left us alone. Number one, I don't know why when he did this interview he didn't do it from. Why did he take the stand in his own trial? Grace Jabari took the stand, recounted everything, which gave the jurors the opportunity to empathize with her. Or to give her the side eye, but like, okay, bitch, I see all through your Maybelline. I see through it. I see what you're trying to do. But clearly she was up there and convinced the jury otherwise because he was found guilty on 2 charges. Not on all the charges, but only 2 of them. 2 out of I think it was, what was it, 4? So he did get in the interview, and he was just talking about that like his regrets. And the one thing he said he regrets is touching her and trying to get her to get in the car. To me, it just felt like in the interview he did not take any kind of accountability for any of his actions. I would show y'all the clip, but I'm afraid that with it being from ABC, that they're gonna, strike my episode and then they'll pull it. So he said that he was shocked and afraid when the verdict came down to guilty. He said, I'm standing there and the verdict comes down. I say, how is that possible based off the evidence, based off the prosecution's evidence, let alone our evidence? How is that possible? And this is what he told Lindsay Davis. And I should point out, like, the what he was found guilty of. So it was 1 count of misdemeanor 3rd-degree assault and 1 count of 2nd-degree harassment, but acquitted of 2 other counts of assault and aggravated harassment in a split verdict. He also says he plans on appealing the verdict because, he's about to be sentenced next month. And here's what I'm going to tell you about how is it possible based off the evidence, based off the prosecution's evidence. Sir, do I need to remind you that you're Black? Do I really need to sit here and remind you, Jonathan Majors, you are a nigga in America? Welcome to it. You thinking that you're exempt from the jury and the judicial system being fair to people of color in America? Did we just wake up yesterday? Like, come on now. Is he fucking dense? This is what irritated me about this interview. Like, he's sitting there thinking like, oh, because of the company I keep and these situations that I put myself in, that I'm exempt from all this. It's like, no. And mothers out there, Black women, I'm going to talk to y'all. We need to start having conversations about Black people, families, mothers, fathers, and everybody in between. Have conversations about your sons, with your sons, when it comes to getting in interracial relationships. I know as many things that Black people got to talk to their kids about. The fact of the matter that when you walk down the street, you got to worry about the cops. Possibly, my son may not come home based on the color of his skin. There's another thing we got to add to the situation, unfortunately, because of this fucking country we live in. Talk to your sons about when y'all get with that, when you get with these mayonnaise Americans, and shout out to the white people. But when you as a Black man get with a white woman, the situations you're going to have to possibly deal with should you get in a situation that Jonathan Majors found himself in. So these are, unfortunately, the conversations we're going to have. Oh, y'all going to have because I ain't having no kids. Or who knows, maybe down the road I might change my mind and decide to have some. But yes, this is, because I can't say, never say never, because child, you'd be surprised when we all say things, we all change our stuff. So he really thought that he could trust in the judicial system and it was going to be on his side. When it's like, I would have took the stand regardless. Like, if this bitch going to get up in here and defend herself and make herself look a certain way, why didn't his attorneys, I don't know what the conversation was, but based off of this, I'm just asking, devil's advocate, why didn't his attorneys advise him like, yeah, you should, she got up there and took the stand, you need to get up there and defend yourself. We can't necessarily depend on this to be on our side. Y'all a little arrogant. I feel like he was arrogant in this whole situation too, where he thought like he was exempt, like nobody was going to come down and he was just going to be exempt from all this stuff. And it's like, no, you got a rude awakening that day. And then he addressed the whole situation about the Michelle Obama and Coretta Scott King thing, where he said he wanted Grace to be more like them. He said he was trying to give an analogy on, oh, I'm trying to be this great man, that I'm trying to aspire to greatness, and I need you to be at my side and make sacrifices and be more like these women. He said it was an analogy. Let's go back to what I asked before. Jonathan Majors, have you forgotten that you are a Black man dating a white woman? You cannot look at it from a point of, oh, you're looking at the essence of who these women are, the perception that these women are demure and full of class, and they're not classless or a mess or out here looking like, they're ratchet. you cannot compare a white girl that you are dating to two of the most prominent black women in American history, Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. And if you can't see that, then sir, something wrong with your ass. I don't know how you can't look at it like, does this black man think he not black? And this is why a lot of times people look at a lot of black women look at black men with a side eye. And I've been reading the comments. Y'all talking about he ain't our problem. Let him stay over there with them. Because this to me seemed like the overall issue and attitude. And I really wish that Lindsay Davis would have fought back and said this stuff. So y'all be wanting to get one of those sugarcoating black folk to interview. Y'all need to get these black sisters out here that's really gonna go in and ask you the questions and not, you know, just some, I don't know. Lindsay Davis give me like she half black, half white. Like she ain't all the way black. Like she grew up in the suburbs. Like she don't really like I need whatever happened to interviewers who kind of play the devil's advocate, who hit all sides of the coin, that sort of thing. That's what I needed from this interview. And what was a red flag for me was when Megan Good was there on the side, rocking back and forth while he was doing the interview, and Lindsay asked him about their relationship. Sidebar: I actually think the person he was texting on that phone that Grace grabbed, I think that was Megan Good. Don't quote me on it. I think it was her. I think she Cleopatra. I think that was the girl that on the side that he was talking about that he was cheating or whatever the case was, and I think she the other woman. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But who else was he talking to? And he was like, "Oh, she stood by me the whole side, and she's been." And I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said the same thing with Megan Good, talking about she is the she's my Michelle Obama. She's like she's giving that, which is a red flag for me because if you was acting like this with Grace, then what's the behavior with Megan? That you still bring up this whole Coretta Scott, Michelle Obama shit now with this woman. And people are looking at him sideways because they're like, oh, here go this man. The minute that the shit hit the fan, where your life is about to be over, now you want to run back to your people and remember who the hell you are. And now you want to sit up here and act like Jonathan Major Shabazz. Well, all God with black power. Yeah, we power the people. Next, he gonna be getting Dr. Goddamn Umar to be on his team, trying to act all like he's, Mr. Jonathan Major Shabazz Farrakhan. So overall, I don't know if y'all care to watch the interview. I did post it on my social media, but I did find it weird, like when there was some of the fracturing of her finger, and she had showed the pictures that she had of the injury, and they even showed in the episode of Grace Jabari, like for the police cam, that she was on the floor, passed out, and that's what I'm like, damn, they showing all of this in the daytime on TV. You can't say certain words, but you're gonna show a white lady passed out on the damn floor, right? Okay. It's funny how, the media makes exceptions for what is appropriate at certain times of the day and what isn't appropriate when they want it to suit their narrative. But he did say the whole thing about how he went to grab the phone. He doesn't remember how he injured her. He just pulled the phone back. She got on top of him. She squeezed his face. She was slapping him. That's all he remembers. He doesn't remember how the injuries occurred, which could possibly happen because when you're in the heat of the moment, I don't remember every single detail or whatever that's happened in certain situations. I just know the adrenaline is flowing. You don't have a right as anybody. Nobody has a right to grab your phone or be looking over your shoulder, trying to read your messages and be nosy or whatever the case was. And I really wish at that time he was he would have been man enough to reveal, like to not reveal, but to break up with the relationship. He wasn't happy with her. He was, there was a lot of stuff that was going on in their relationship. It wasn't going the way he wanted to go, and he was cheating on her. And he just didn't, I guess, have the balls, or as Anna Navarro likes to say, cojones, to break it off with Grace. So he was out here laying alone and spreading it wide with Cleopatra, talking about how she loved him and she missed him and all this other mess, and Grace wasn't feeling it. But I do feel like while I get the what he was saying, him being found guilty of all this stuff, she ain't no damn innocent in this either. So we're not only going to blame him. She should be held accountable for some of the shit she does too. But like I stated, you know how fair he should know now. I guess he knows now how fair it is being a black man in America when it comes up to the judicial system. You forgot that we in the same city that had the problem with the white lady that was picked on that man taking pictures of birds and shit in Central Park, the Central Park Karen. We had that situation and stuff too. So New York ain't always, we may be one of the most liberal cities in the world, but our judicial system is still fucked up in a lot of ways. Trust and believe. So, um, he was saying he didn't remember how. Yeah, so it was just a whole lot of stuff. But it's funny how like you're not aware of all this other stuff, but now you feel like race played a role in you getting arrested and convicted. It's like you understand now. You understand what it's like to be a black man in America. Well, if he didn't understand it before, he learned today. So if y'all do care to see the interview and stuff, definitely check out my website, chrisavalon.com. I did post the interview there. It was the Twitter clips, and I posted the clips from YouTube. So it's a two-parter if you guys care enough to watch it. But yeah, I get it, but Jonathan, I do feel like this interview made your situation worse. I know you probably thought you could go on there and it was going to make you look a little more empathetic so that when you go up against your sentencing. But I just feel like he's such in a bubble and such an actor that I don't think he's really tapped into like be a person, be a human, be vulnerable. I didn't get none of that from the interview. I just feel like it just, like I said, it made him look worse. So good luck to you, sir. He wants a Jackie O, but that doesn't exist anymore in white women today, or a housewife. I understood what he was saying. It's like, yeah, you wanted a woman that in person presents this demureness that that you come across. Oh, she's so elegant and so beautiful and so wise, and I want to be like her. So, but what is up with these black men that's out here all of a sudden want to take on this responsibility to be like this big, advocate for black stuff? But y'all out here looking like Boo Boo the Fool in the end. Because first it was Jussie Smollett. He wanted to be the black Tupac, or the gay Tupac. I said black Tupac. Tupac is black. I said he wanted to be the gay Tupac. And now we got this one trying to be like this big old activist. It's like people who are activists and really trying to help move things along and all this stuff, they don't have to say that this is what they want to do. They show it in their actions. I've always believed in, you know what? Don't tell me about it. Show. And hello, that's the first thing they tell you in film school and in acting and stuff. Show, don't tell. It's like you telling us, don't tell me, show me, be about it. And he wasn't given that. So, and like I said, everything that was going on with this whole trial, I stand 10 toes down on it. It felt very performative. It felt like he was just an actor trying to give this perception. You wasn't that convincing. And so, good luck to you, sir. And then on top of that, I should point out this whole thing with Coleman Domingo recently was at the Golden Globes on the red carpet. And it was about how he's having this resurgence in his career, which is long overdue because I've been following Coleman since the Big Gay Sketch Show. Yes, he's been around for a million damn years. And it's good to see he's finally getting his overnight success. Was it like a decade later? Or maybe even longer than that? Because Big Gay Sketch Show, when that came out like 15 years ago? So Johnny McGovern was on that show too. But anyway, so um he said that he loves being in the conversation regarding the whole rumors that he's gonna play Kang, the Conqueror, but he hasn't heard anything. So he's not aware. The actors, they're not gonna tell us if they're up for the running. But I do like the idea. If they were to bring Kang back, then I would love to see Coleman Domingo take on that role. But for the most part, I feel like let's put Kang to bed unless somebody could write a really good Kang story. Because what the Kang we've gotten so far, I wasn't feeling it. And it wasn't Jonathan Major's fault, it was the writer's fault. So I'm actually here for a Kang resurgence if done right. But I'm ready to move on to a new villain. Like, let's bring on Dr. Doom. Y'all supposed to be trying to revive and give us a proper, for once, Fantastic Four movie. So that's what I want. So good luck to you, sir. Okay, there's a lot of more drama going on in the world. So we got a follow-up with this whole Nigel Lythgoe story. So, every time I've talked about Nigel Lythgoe and this whole drama surrounding the accusations of sexual assault regarding Paula Abdul and two other women that was on that one season reality show that he had produced at one point, like 2003? So it was like 20 years ago, 20. Well, I don't know. If it didn't air in January, it's not 21 yet, but we'll go with 20. So I said in the beginning, I was like, okay, so what's going to happen with So You Think You Could Dance? I feel like at this point, because y'all trying to bring So You Think You Can Dance back for another season, you're going to have to remove him as a judge. Come to find out, that is what has happened. He's been chopped. So on Friday, the TV producer, who's 74, told Variety that he was stepping down from the long-running series. Said, I have informed the producers of So You Think You Could Dance of my decision to step back from participating in this year's series. I did so with a heavy heart, but entirely voluntarily, because this great program has always been about dance and dancers, and that is where its focus needs to remain. In the meantime, I am dedicating myself to clearing my name and restoring my reputation. Now, in a joint statement shared with People, 19 Entertainment, Dick Clark Productions, Fox, and the production companies and network of So You Think You Could Dance announced that Lythgoe will no longer be a judge on the competitive dance series following his recent sexual assault allegations. 19 Entertainment, Dick Clark Productions, and Fox can confirm the upcoming season of So You Think You Could Dance will proceed, although without Nigel Lythgoe, to ensure the show remains committed to the contestants who have worked incredibly hard for the opportunity to compete on our stage. No decision has been made as to a replacement judge for this season, which will premiere on Fox on Monday, March 4th. Now, I also am curious because here's the thing. I know when it comes to So You Think You Can Dance, um, they pre-record a lot of stuff before we get to the live dance portion, where's where you get to see week to week they compete, the elimination, that sort of thing. Very American Idol. Follows the same formula. But we don't know what's going to happen in regards of did they film or the audition stuff already? Is Nigel a part of the audition process? We already know who the judges and stuff are going to be on this upcoming season. I would have said Derek Huff would have been perfect, but Derek Huff is over there. Well, he was judging. Dance with the Stars is over for the season, but I don't know if they're gonna. He can't be on a competing show, so it'd be good if they could find. I don't know who they'll find to replace him. If y'all got some ideas, let me know, because they've gone through a plethora of different dance judges that were there. And at one point, they did have Paula Abdul as a guest judge. Maybe they could, I would have been like, maybe they can get Jennifer Lopez, but she about to be busy. She just released her, did she release that new song, Can't Get Enough, the video and everything today? I haven't seen it yet, but I know she released the video for her new single, for her upcoming album that comes out next month. Uh, but I don't know if she's going to be wanting to judge another show, especially when she's got a new album to promote. She's got a lot of stuff going on. She's about to film a new movie, I believe, in next month too. So, oh, what was it? Kiss of the Spider Woman. She's supposed to be doing that. So I can't see Jennifer Lopez doing it. So it's like, as far as dancers go, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of nobody, but I will be keeping my eye on the story as it develops in regards to who they will choose to be the judge on, the replacement. Because I'm like, look, unfortunately, Nigel, you did what you did allegedly. Now you got to clear your name. I do feel like maybe with all this going on, this may draw people into wanting to watch the upcoming season and be curious. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with this show as it develops. Huff might take a year or two off. Oh yeah, I forgot that his wife was sick or whatever the case was, had to be rushed to the hospital. So I do feel like he may want to step away from TV and all that other stuff for a while. But it would be good to see like who they could possibly pick to be a judge or to be the replacement, because they definitely gonna need some more spiciness on that show. I don't feel like the judges that they have there is enough. You got Twitch's wife stepping in after Twitch passed away, well, killed himself, unalived himself. And then you have Comfort is on there. And then there was another person that was judging. Don't bring Jason Derulo. That boy ain't got no damn personality. They tried that with him once. Didn't work. So it'll be curious to see, like I said, who they can get to. Maybe they can get like a big name. I've been like, maybe a Usher. He dances. Chris Brown might be a little too controversial. Will they go for a big name? Or maybe they could go with Sierra. Sierra, look, we like Sierra more for her dancing than her singing, quiet as it's kept. So, who knows? Maybe they can go for a big celebrity name that they could bring in and join the show. Because I'm like genuinely curious about that. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic. We got, how many more topics we got? We have 3 more topics, and then we are done with today's show. I'm making good time, by the way. I thought I'd probably go over 2 hours, but no, we on good time. So let's talk about Vin Diesel's partner. I know when we say partner, we always think like, oh, he's with a man, but no. He's been in a relationship with a model by the name of Paloma Jimenez, which I didn't even know about her until recently. So his partner, Paloma, is upset with him for, these allegations that's come out where he allegedly sexually assaulted his former assistant, Asta Jonason. And this is according to Radar Online. So, according to a sensational report, Mexican model Paloma Jimenez, Diesel's partner for 17 years, gave the actor a verbal beatdown after he was slapped with a lawsuit by ex-assistant Asta Jonason, who accused him of molesting her on the job in 2010. Tipsters claim Paloma is aware that Diesel's fame and fortune put a target on his back, but it's a potential betrayal that hurts her so much. This would have happened right around the time she gave birth to son Vincent. A Hollywood insider told the National Enquirer, noting Vincent is the second of the couple's 3 children. Now, funny enough, Vin Diesel's real name is Mark Vincent, so he was named Vincent. So his name is Vincent Vincent. I'm like, did you not think this through? That you gave your child 2 of the same name? But anyway, unless he changed it to Vin Diesel, like his name is Vincent Diesel, which would be the same as his name. Whatever. Ciao. I don't get these celebrities. Now, in a recent court filing, Jonason claimed her former boss groped her, pinned her against the wall, and pleasured himself in front of her at a Georgia hotel during production of Fast Five, while allegedly ignoring her clear statements of non-consent. A referee Diesel, who was born... Oh, wait, sorry. His name is it's Mark Sinclair. I said it was Vincent. His sister's last name was Vincent. That's where I got it mixed up, because his sister's name is Samantha Vincent. So he was born Mark Sinclair, said the star categorically denies the allegations. But Jonason also claimed Samantha Vincent, who is Diesel's sister, then president of the company One Race Films, terminated her mere hours after the alleged assault. Now, the civil suit seeks damages sufficient to punish the actor, as well as his business and Samantha. However, a spy claimed that Diesel had even bigger problems on his hands. Aside from his longtime partner reportedly feeling betrayed by him due to the accusations, spies claimed it could also signal the end to his on-screen racing career. After the last 2 Fast and Furious flops, the scandal provides a perfect excuse for the studio to call it a wrap on the flagging franchise, and that would be a disaster for Vin. And I do actually agree with that, because I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, so Fast 10, let's talk about it. I saw it in the movies. I haven't seen it since. I just didn't think Fast 10 was a good movie. It was slightly better than Fast 9. Fast 9 is unwatchable, atrociously unwatchable. Fast 8 was okay. Fast 7, I believe that was the one where we lost Paul Walker. And the movie should have wrapped there. It should have wrapped at that point. And then if you wanted to spin it off into other characters, possibly doing your own Fast and Furious thing, I think what's gonna have to happen now is like, okay, they'll have to reboot Fast and the Furious with a whole new cast of people, which I knew they were planning on doing that eventually. You could probably put it around Vin and, Vin's son. He and Letty didn't have a kid together, but Vin's character, Dom, had a baby with Elsa Pataki, who, is the real life wife of Chris Hemsworth. They killed her off in one of the movies or whatever, but he had a situation with her when he thought Letty was dead. I know it's a lot. So I did hear they were going to do that. Plus, they were also talking about doing an all-female version of Fast and the Furious, where you could see like Michelle Rodriguez and a bunch of women banding together. You can get Gal Gadot, you can get Charlize Theron, you can get them all to band together and do sort of like a whole anti-hero car racing type thing. I think it'll be dope. A lot of people watch that. Who wouldn't want to watch a bunch of hot chicks driving like street racing and doing criminal shit? I would definitely be watching that because I like watching women in action. Regarding the whole Fast and the Furious thing and Vin Diesel, I do kind of think like, where does the future hold for this franchise? Because you left Fast 10 on a cliffhanger, and we need to find out, I guess, what happens with the next part of it. And he was telling me there was going to be a trilogy. I said, no. First of all, there wasn't enough going on in this film to even require a trilogy, so we don't need one. But in regards to the whole Fast and the Furious thing, I do feel like, where does the future hold with this? Is now we finding ourselves in a similar situation of Nigel Lythgoe, what we just talked about, where does this mean this is the end of Vin Diesel's career? I mean, look, he's had a good run. The man is in his 50s. He's had a great run in the action world. he could just sit back and retire on all his money. He made so much money doing those Fast and the Furious things. I do feel like if he wants to produce content, like retreat behind the scenes, but I feel like his on-screen persona, um, it's unfortunately we live in an age of court of public opinion, and the court of public opinion outweighs whether or not, unfortunately, if he's guilty or not guilty. So I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of this story. I don't necessarily know if there's a script done for the Fast 11, Fast 10 Part 2. I don't know what the fuck they're calling it. I don't know what's going to happen with Vin Diesel in this whole thing. Are they going to kill him off? They basically say that, well, Dom dies in the movie because there's a big scene at the end with the car and the fire and the bridge and all that stuff. That you could say that, you know, what was the son's name in the movie? I think it was Lil Brian. You could say that he survived, but his father died, and then I guess the other crew members that was on the helicopter, Ludacris, and all them come and get the kid, and whatever the case is, we kill off Dom and we mourn his death, and then that whole thing, because I feel like he's tainted the franchise, and I do agree that after those movies didn't do so well, this is giving Universal the perfect excuse to kind of like slither their way out of working with Vin, because it feels like, or you kind of think that maybe they put him up to it because, the minute when you get to a place when you're on top and you got the power and you got so much money and you get to call the shots and the studio is so beholden to this person, it's like, we can't deny him. We got to give him this. We got to give him that. A movie should not cost $400 million to make. There shouldn't be no reason why a movie like a Fast and the Furious, their budget should be damn near $400, and then you're shocked that the movie didn't break even. So, we've had these conspiracy theories all the time where it was like, oh, well, they came after Bill Cosby because Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC. So is it that Universal was trying to find a way to slither their way out of a situation with wanting to work with Vin? So now it's like, oh, this is the perfect opportunity for us to get out of that. I don't know. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know if y'all think that's what it is. But I don't know. I just feel like Vin, child, good luck to you because you're going to need it. And Paloma, you staying with him? Because you with that man for 17 years, gave him 3 kids, and he ain't marry you. Unless y'all want to, look, unless y'all have like a Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell type situation where you don't want to get married, then okay, that's great. But to me, it's just like, oh, I got security now. I mean, you could ask for a whole lot. I would have been like married to his ass, and if he fucked up out the marriage, we get a divorce because y'all been together damn near 20 years. She'd get a huge payout if they live in LA. Okay, so he said, I know Wade Robson ain't coming back. Okay. Especially with this whole Michael Jackson situation. I can't see Wade. Well, Wade Robson, was he ever a judge or did he just do choreography? I don't know. There's not a lot of choreographers out here that got like really good personalities, but we'll see who they pick in regards to the whole Nigel Lythgoe, So You Think You Can Dance situation. Okay, so let's talk about my girl Taraji P. Henson, who has been coming out and not, and I'm living for the fact that she has been very open and honest about the stuff that's been going on behind the scenes, raising the alarm on all the conditions that's been happening on the set of Color Purple. Now, in a scathing interview against the treatment of Black actors in Hollywood, Taraji P. Henson has in particular slammed a decision to provide rental cars to the cast of The Color Purple, saying they gave us rental cars. And I was like, I can't drive myself to set in Atlanta. This is insurance liability. It's dangerous. Now they're robbing people. What do I look like taking myself to work by myself in a rental car? So I was like, can I get a driver or security to take me? I'm not asking for the moon. They're like, well, if we do it for you, we got to do it for everybody. Well, do it for everybody. And stuff like that, stuff I shouldn't have to fight for. I was on the set of Empire fighting for trailers that wasn't infested with bugs. And this is what she told the New York Times. And she also noted that, this fight that she has to go about with studios consistently fighting for herself and others. Like, why is it that every time I come on a set, I got to channel my inner Norma Ray and I got to sit up in here and fight for equal shit? Like, I shouldn't have to be doing that. And I feel like at the end of the day, Oprah, you're not getting no motherfucking pass. She get on my goddamn nerves. See, now I'm not starting to, but I'm glad that people are finally waking up and realizing that Oprah ain't as innocent as she always tried to perpetuate herself to be. Because I'm like, girl, now how long has Oprah been in the business? that we've been aware of her since 1985 when she made her debut in The Color Purple. That's almost 40 years, right? Because 2025 will be 40 years since The Color Purple. You mean to tell me you, Steven Spielberg, and I heard Barack and Michelle Obama produced this as well, but they should be, as much as I know they're new to the producing game, but y'all should be aware of stuff too. Like, I know this is not in the words of Mommy Dearest, this ain't your first time at the rodeo. So you got a little awareness. But I'm putting this more on Oprah and Steven Spielberg because y'all been in this game long enough to not know that, number one, when it comes to your actors, there's an insurance policy taken out on them. You're not allowed to drive yourself to work. You're not. It's just not happening. Like for me, for instance, when I get my talk show on national television or whatever, I'm not going to be driving to work. I'm going to have a driver, or I'm going to have, because the studio is going to provide it. That is a standard. Every person, whether you're an actor, personality, whatever, okay, when you hear talk shows, The View, Wendy Williams, they all had drivers. She had a driver. She don't do talk shows no more. But, everybody gets a driver to and from work because it's like the security, the people who you have is supposed to get you from point A to point B. As an actor, your job is to show up to the set and do what it is that you're paid to do. I'm not supposed to be worrying about, okay, now I'm driving myself to work. The traffic is crazy. Somebody acted a fool out here cutting in front of me. I could get into an accident. If I die, then what? Then the studio, you're going to have a liability in your hands. You get sued. Then what? So you rather just pay a lawsuit? And then you had Oprah in the clip when they brought it up. I did. You did I call you? Did not do this? I was like, okay, now it sounds like you overcompensating because they're gonna drag your ass on social media because you out here trying to overcompensate for the fact that you wasn't doing what needed to be done. Why is it that? Well, so what? You was only producing in name only? Because you was talking about that you had to get on social, that you had to go to the studio and ask them, okay, for this specific scene, it needs a little bit more in the budget. So y'all give more money for this stuff. But how you not making sure the standards on your set that there's craft services? Because I remember when I would act and I was on movie sets, when stuff wasn't there, when y'all serving pizza, this is not what we're supposed to be eating. You ain't supposed to be going to no damn 99, what is it, the dollar pizza shop of the street and ordering like 50 boxes of pizza to feed your crew and to feed, your actors and stuff who are paying dues through SAG. It's like, you out of your mind? So I would see like a lot of the actors, they be on the phone calling the agency, like, what's going on? Why am I having to do this, and why am I having to ask for this? Why am I like, no, you need to make sure that a lot of these standards and practices in place to make sure that your actors are comfortable. So that way, all they have to worry about is showing up on set, making sure their lines are delivered and they don't mess up. And that, because when it comes to acting, it's a lot. You have to be in the zone, especially when you're playing a character like a Seeley, a Bista, a Shug, all these like there's a lot that goes into playing those characters. It's not just, I'm just gonna show up with my little cute little outfit and just say my little line and walk off. It takes a lot of bandwidth that you have to use to bring a lot of nuance or whatever to that character. But these people out here, y'all want to be cheap. Now, I feel like if Oprah was producing a movie based with a bunch of goddamn white people, you best believe she'd have everything rolled out. She'd have the red carpet rolled out for their ass, too. So I just don't understand, like, when it comes to black films, y'all always treat black people like the help. If we want equality, if we want all these different things to be taken into place, we need to treat our black actors, like, for instance, when y'all had Viola Davis, was she the black Meryl Streep? Well, pay her like the black Meryl Streep. Treat her like the black Meryl Streep, because I guarantee you, when Meryl Streep walk on a set, everything is, the I's is dotted, the T's is crossed before she even get there. So why is it that when it comes to our films, y'all be treating like, even these highbrow fucking black movies, y'all treat them like some shit on Tubi? Like, get off my line with that foolishness. So I'm actually glad that Taraji has been speaking out and calling out, the horrible conditions that has been going on in these movie sets, and the fact that they continue to undervalue and underpay their talent. How they, like, I gotta starve when I'm working 14 to 16 hours on a movie set, and there's no food, there's no water, there's no this, there's no, like, what? Y'all treating us like we a bunch of goddamn people working in a sweatshop. I'm sure people in the sweatshops got more rights than these actors do. And y'all be telling them, oh, y'all ungrateful. No, I'm not ungrateful. Y'all, it's like now you're starting to see the reality of what this industry is because people have been so quiet about it for so long. And I know a lot of people saying, but yeah, but now everybody listening, but y'all wasn't listening when Monique said it. Why is it that all of a sudden everybody's piping up? And I think it's because y'all wasn't ready to listen. Y'all was so quick to shut Monique down. I think it was also, um, I think it was the delivery. I think it was basically the delivery of Monique and how she presented it. It turned a lot of people off. Monique comes across as that judgmental auntie that people just don't want to be hearing. Taraji seems like that roundaway girl that everybody relate to. So it's always about relatability, likability, those sort of things. Y'all only want to listen depending on who is the messenger. And I feel like at the time when Monique raised the alarm, it was the delivery and the message of who it was coming from. Y'all didn't want to hear it. So better late than never, I guess. We'll just see what happens down the road. And I did hear that Oprah did sit down for a one-on-one with Taraji, probably to clear her damn name because she's tired of Taraji being out here saying this whole, spilling all the tea from behind the scenes. And now she out here looking like the fool. Look, people was out here looking at Oprah with the side eye after that whole situation that happened with the whole Maui situation. You got all this money, you a billionaire, you got the nerve to ask people to donate money for the wildfires. But then the word on the curb was that you hired a bunch of people to make sure that your land didn't get burned down while all of Maui was getting burned. So, like I said, Oprah like Two-Face, like two sides of the coin. And want to show what you want to show, what you want to show it. So, Lindsay's in the building. She's speaking her truth. 40 years. Oh, yeah. So 40 years. And the difference is that Monique said no, stopped doing the promotion, and was negative. Taraji promoted the film, did her job, and spoke her truth. She was professional. And that's what it was. You know what? Maybe what Monique should have did was that she should have just she should just did the promotion for Precious and spilled the tea there. So that way it'd have been on record. Instead of being, no, I'm not going to do it. And then go on these other shows like the Breakfast Club and these other shows and bitch and moan. But she also had her gripe with Oprah when Oprah went and brought out her brother who sexually molested her. People still mad at her over that. So Oprah be doing some trifling two-faced bullshit. So I'm actually glad that the ladies and people in Hollywood are finally coming out and speaking their truth and saying what needs to be said. And it is what it is. So good luck to you. All right, so let's get to, I saw another comment. Oh. Raquel read, I said Oprah will always protect Oprah's interests. And you want to know something? I want to give a shout out to Raquel because Raquel was the one that, and I remember people was asking me, did I see the clip? And I'm like, damn, I should have brought it up to bring context. So the last time when I was like in the comments for Raquel's show, she brought up the video of them on the Empire State Building. And how, Taraji was at first, she was talking and saying what needed to be said in regards to the whole situation. And then Oprah's walking past and they stand next to each other. And then you got Taraji looking up like, like the whistle, whatever the case was, like didn't want to give eye contact. And then when the other ladies came in, Oprah's like trying to waddle her way over because, she on the Ozempic. Waddle her way over to the other side. They want to be next to her. I was like, okay, sis, we see what this shit is. You mad at her because she out here got your ass looking like the fool. So that's what all that was. And so, yeah, she played that on the show. And I'm like, that was the first time I had seen it because people was like, did you see it? Did you see it? No, I didn't get to see it because I think it was a whole lot going on. I think I was also in the midst of doing this show at the time. So it was a whole lot going on. It was the holidays. So I didn't really get to see the clip until I saw the Raquel show. So I was glad to have seen that. And all that stuff. But I do agree that Oprah will always protect her own interests. And isn't she also on Epstein list? That's all I'll say about that. And Robert said, don't forget Tony Braxton called her out. Blueface. Yeah, so look, Oprah always been a little, people starting to see her for all she, and then it's no coincidence that when she go on Gail's show, her lesbian lover allegedly, and then all that other stuff coming out. So there's that, her sister, as we like to call him. Okay, so now let's get to our final topic, and let's talk about Lil Nas X and this whole controversy where it's like, he's channeling his inner Madonna with this new single cover art, which I will bring up. So please hold, because as a class, we definitely need to look at this thing. So yeah, people are upset over this picture of him on the, bitch, get off my pole. Bitch, get off my pole. He's apparently on the cross, and you got these women trying to lift him up. I think it's a beautiful video. I mean, a beautiful visual. I'm curious to see what the picture. I mean, like not the picture, but what the video and stuff is gonna look like. But yeah, he's out here causing a commotion with the artwork for his latest single, which is entitled J Christ, which drops on January 12th, which is actually a day before my sister's birthday. My sister's birthday is on the 13th, and my mother's birthday is actually tomorrow. So yeah, I got Capricorns in my family. So the chart-topping pop star returns on January 12th with a song called J Christ. Nas imitates Jesus Christ nailed on the cross on the single artwork, and in a press release says, "My new single is dedicated to the man who had the greatest comeback of all time. The song, which will seemingly kick off Nas's sophomore album, will be accompanied by a music video." Because that's the way we release things now. Release the song, then release a video. Same thing with the whole thing with, like I talked about earlier, with Jennifer Lopez. She released her new song, Can't Get Enough, and the video. I haven't seen the video yet. Lindsay, if you're still in the comments, let me know if it's good or not. Or if you like, well, I know she liked the song. She's obsessed with J-Lo. And I throw my reads, but I like J-Lo too. Because that's just how I am. I'm shady by nature. But I say it with love. Y'all know. So anyway, so I know she had the song and all this stuff. Same thing with Little Nas X. Now, there was, what was it, a couple of weeks ago? Well, not even couple of weeks ago. I think it was back in November. He released a piece of an acoustic song on X. I think that's probably the song that he's going to be promoting, where it's like he said he's going into his Christian era. People got mad about it and was saying like, "Oh, you out here making fun of religious stuff." And child, don't get me started on the fact of how Catholicism has stolen a lot from paganism. Like, we're not going to get into that whole conversation. But I'm just putting it out there. So, in regards of Christians trying to act like they have, exclusive ownership over things, get off my line with that. So, people have been calling him the devil, but I get why he was doing the whole devil thing where he was twerking on the demon in hell. A lot of that was from, because y'all done said we gays are going to hell for being just us. We're an abomination, all this other stuff. So he was poking fun at that. And Nas is good at being a troll. He likes to throw shade. He likes to be a troll. That's what he does. And people didn't like it. And to me, it's like, y'all don't own Christian music. There's a lot of people out here who are gay who do Christian music, who do all these other things. There are gay people out here who have their own denominational churches. So I don't have a problem with this. I feel like, look, he went to the Madonna school of controversy, because Madonna was doing all this stuff where y'all went after her because she had a black man played by Leon as Jesus in her video, the burning cross, which was a symbol of, racism, which you white folks started that. Why y'all mad? Y'all trying to erase history? The racists I'm talking about, not all white people. And now he has this. And, excuse me, Nas is always going to be with somebody that's going to push the envelope. And you know what? At least he's got the balls enough to want to do it. Now, I will say this, sir. I'm hoping and praying that the music is just as good as the antics and the shenanigans. And that's all I want. It's like, okay, it's cute that you can create a buzz and people are going to act like, the fake, phony religious folks are going to go up in here and they're going to do all their little BS, with, oh my God, there's selective outrage, that all BS. And my thing is like, you know what? The music better be just as good. So you out here doing a controversy. I don't need that, because we've been getting too much of that. 2024, I want this to be the year of quality and quality over quantity. Or is it the other way around? I want quality with my shit. And we got a lot of people coming out this year with some good albums. I'm looking forward to the Charlie XCX record. I know Billie Eilish got a new album coming out. I know we got Lil Nas X coming out with something. Cakes the Killer's coming out with a new album. 2024 is about to be a bopping year for music. So I'm actually, I don't know if I said Charlie XCX, but if I did, yeah, she's coming out with an album too. Like, there's a lot of people coming out with records and stuff this year, and I need y'all to actually, Ariana Grande got a new song coming out, I think this week. So I need y'all, in regards of, the words of T.S. Madison, y'all better step y'all pussies up in regards of the visuals as well as the quality of music. Because I'm tired of y'all releasing mediocre ass songs, but the controversy outweighs the songs and stuff. So good luck to you, Nas, on everything you got going on. And I'm definitely curious to see, what you got cooking up, because I do agree I'm over like the antics and all that other mess. I just need everything else to match it. So we got a lot of comments in here. I saw like 11. So let me read what that was. Oh, they said there was a lot. Oh yeah, there was a lot going on top of that Empire State Building. Allegedly, the list is fake. Wait, I lost track of that. What? Oh, the Epstein list. Oh yeah, I did hear like the Epstein list, that there was a lot of stuff on there that was fake. Because even she said that, like Whoopi Goldberg said, they said she was on Epstein Island and everything. I'm like, first of all, Whoopi don't even like getting on planes. If she can't take a bus there, she's not going. So I already knew that was a lie. Oh yeah, she is best friends with Harvey Weinstein. Oprah has aligned herself with a lot of problematic ass people over the years. Side by side with Madonna on the cross. He said not Kelly Mantle's comment. I said, I don't know her. Okay. Solstice was the original Christmas. Gay Demon. And I was booked to host a gay church spring concert. It was cute for what it was. It was a real church and everything. Oh, did they know you were a drag queen and they was okay with it? Because you know the church, and now you got the Pope out here talking about he loves the gays and stuff. I don't know, but that Pope talk out to both sides of his mouth recently. The Barb's being stupid, saying the burning cross is giving racism. Huh? I don't know if they know this, but Lil Nas X is black, so you can't be racist against your own people. Now you can be Uncle Ruckus and a coon, but you can't be black burning a cross. And somebody's, you talking about Madonna doing that with the burning cross? And so you probably talking about Madonna. It's like, no, that's not what that is. It was like that was a symbol of the burning cross back. It's like, come on, do y'all not read books in school? I know they banning shit out in Florida and probably Texas because they got a stupid ass governor out there too. But if you look at history, like there've always been burning crosses on people's lawns. Like they even had it in the show that I was watching with David Oyelowo, where he played like a black U.S. Marshal. Like the burning crosses, the Mississippi burning, like history shows this stuff. Like, come on, kids, I gotta get out here and realize the world. There's a whole world that existed before 2002 or whatever, the year she was born. And the funny enough, I didn't even realize we're in the year of Generation Alpha. I thought we were still in Gen Z, but apparently we're in Gen Alpha, and Gen Alpha ends in 2025, and then we go into Gen. I was gonna say Gen as in Jennifer, but Generation Beta, which I made as a joke. I was like, so what's gonna have coming after Alpha? Beta, and then after Beta, what? Zeta? A little Scream 2 joke. But yeah, so we have come to the end of our show, by the way. So thank you all for tuning into this long-winded ass video, because it was a lot that was going on, especially, why I wanted to give my recap of the whole drag race weekend where I was out in Philly. Shout out to all that was in the comments. Raquel, Robert, Lindsay, haven't heard from you in a while because I know you've been busy with work and all that other stuff, but it was good to see you in the comments. Definitely looking forward to the new season of Beat Face. When is that? If you said in the comments, bitch, let me know down in the comments when your new season of Beat Face is coming up. And I would like to come on there soon. So we need to talk, darling, about me coming on your show when your season surfaces. So yeah, so there's that. Once again, thank you all for tuning in today's show. Tune in next time when we have a brand new episode coming up. If you do not know, or if you would like to know, definitely hit that notification button so that way you know whenever I go live. And also follow all my social media stuff, which you can see down in the description below and all that good stuff. So yeah, love you all for watching. Love you all for tuning in. And until next time, ciao. Or as I always say, ciao, darlings. And you got to keep